So the objective of this task was to blink my first name in Morse code. So the device I'm using is the particle argon device, and what I'll be using is the built-in LED. So to start this project, it's best to work off one of the examples provided by the particle IDE. So if I go to the IDE, on the bottom left-hand corner there are some example apps. So in this case I'll click on blink an LED. Now it provides a lot of documentation here, and it's quite a simple example, but it's enough to show you all the steps required. And from here you can modify this existing code to blink your name. So for example, if I zoom in a bit, you can see that using the digital write command we can turn on an LED, and by setting the value to high, and we turn it off by setting it to low. So I use this as a starting point. Now I'll move on to my code, which is here, and I made some adjustments here. So first of all, I defined some integer values. So in this case, because I'm trying to emulate Morse code, I have to have a time for a dot and a time for a dash. I've also included a pause and a long pause and a time for a pause after the loop completes. Now just to advise, these times are in milliseconds. So a dot would be 500 milliseconds and a dash would be 1000 milliseconds, or 1 second. Up here I'm defining my LED as D7, which is the built-in LED on the Argon device. Now here I've set up the LED output, and what I've done in my code is I've defined a few functions. So first of all, I've defined a function for blink, where I can provide the delay time as an argument. That allows me to use or create some other functions, for example blink dot and blink dash, where I just provide the value in milliseconds that I want the blink to remain on for. So that references back to my dots and dashes above. Using this blink dot and blink dash functions, I'm then able to construct letters in Morse code which allow me to blink my name. So if I scroll down, I can see, you can see here I've defined a function to blink code D, and so D, and I've added a comment here, is a dash and a dot dot. So therefore I call the method, or the function, sorry, blink dash, blink dot and blink dot, and then have a delay. And I'll do that for the remaining letters. So there are there's essentially a function for each letter. Then within my loop, I then just call each letter that's required. So E, D, and so on. So it blinks my first name, and then I take a delay to pause the loop. And so the result, if I move to the Argon device, or actually before I do that, I should flash the device. Now when you want to flash the device, first you should make sure you're connected. I am connected here, and so if I go to the particle management screen, I can see that my device is connected and it's online. Moving to the IDE, with my code loaded, I can then click on the top hand section here where I can flash it. So I'll press on flash. You should always verify before you flash, but I already have verified, so I'm just going to flash. I'll click on flash. At the bottom of the screen, you'll see here now that it is flashing the code. And it says flash successful, your device has been updated. If you need to confirm that, you can go back to the particles management screen. Click on your device. And under the events, in a few seconds, you should see some events occur to indicate that your device has been flashed. Now that's been flashed, I can then move on to my device. And the blue LED, which is D7, is now flashing my name in Morse code. So there is another video to demonstrate this, so I won't wait for the whole name to flash, but that should be enough to blink your first name, and you can modify the code to blink other letters and other names. Thank you.